One of my nails popped off. Oh no. One of my nails popped off. That is unacceptable. Unacceptable. How is everyone? It's Friday. Friday. Hello, everybody. Hey, over there in White Channel. Howdy, howdy. All right, fixed. Doesn't it just aggravate you when a nail pops off like it does me? All right, now let me work on lighting. Let's go for gold. Yeah, I like that. I think I like that. What do y'all think? Looks nice and clear. Okay. Okay, cool. Little bit of a different vibe. Who's ready for a paranormal investigation? Hey Julie, hey Howlin' at the Moon, hey Kimmy, hey Bossman, hey Shirley, hello X, hey Melanie, thank you for the FYF, hey Sandra, hey Kimberly. Wrapping up another investigation, can you believe it? Hey, Sandy's mom. Hey, Murph Jr. Hello, Pamela. Hey, Palm. Hey, Martha. Hey, Kelly. Let's start sharing it out. Repost. Tap. Hello, Renee. Thank you for sharing the live. Don't forget to send your dailies. Oh, you like it, Palm? Okay, cool. Hello, Brian Hawkins. Hello, honey. Hey, Marine's daughter. Good to have you. Hey, Tara. Who's ready for the final night of the Amityville Horror Haunting? Oh, you can really see the ghost. Has anyone ever seen the ghost in the background? It's pretty cool. There we go. That's better. Paranormal Files Live. We are investigating the Amityville horror. True or false? A hoax, or is it really haunted? Tonight is the final night. Yes, got our scary dolls in the background. Georgia Bell. Georgia Bell over here. Mary Catherine over here. Can you see Mary Catherine? She's kind of turned toward the wall. I think she's blinded by the light. 6 minutes. I think she's blinded. She can't turn toward the camera. You like Mary Catherine? So do I. Very scary doll. I wouldn't trade either one of them for the world. Georgia Bell knows she's pretty, so, you know, she wants to be in the forefront, but Mary Catherine's like, no, I'll just turn. Let me see if I can get her. She's turned right back. I don't know. I'll have to tie her up or something, tie her down. Whichever. She's a little shy. Hey, Rhonda. She's fighting it. She doesn't want to be seen. The Amityville house creepy staircase. That staircase looks exactly like the house that I just moved from. Hated it. Lutz family. DeFeo family. Oh, that's better. There we go. That's a lot better. Ronnie DeFeo Jr. That's the guy. That's the one. He does. James Brolin depicted him so well. He really, really did. Hey, Pink. Crazy. She was pretty. Hey, Jess. Hello, Jennifer Beck. Hey, that was a good conversation that we had a little bit earlier. You should share that. Share that in the comments so everyone knows. That's crazy. Hey, Casey. That staircase is better. Everything is creepier in the dark, right? Oh, that's Sherry Hill. All right, it is time. Let's share this live out. Hey, Bev Solly, welcome in. You can't wait for Cherry Hill? You have to. Thank you, Jess. Thank you. Appreciate it. Welcome to Paranormal Files Live. I am your host, Bryn Morgan. I am also a horror author, and I absolutely love the paranormal. Anything to do with it, debunking it, proving it's true, whatever, I absolutely love it. For the past 3 nights, we have been going deep in. Tonight is the third night on the Amityville horror. It is always something that I've wanted to cover. And so after the Salem witch trials, I'm like, what other case can I work that I've always had such an interest in? And it was the Amityville horror. Well, there's many more to come, but this one was really one that I wanted to cover for sure. So welcome in, seekers. Are you ready? I want you to picture Amityville House. The DeFeos were murdered. The Lutz family had made up some outrageous claims. So there the house stood empty yet again. And this is the living room, the realtors said. It has original hardwood floors, beautiful natural light. Look at it coming through the windows. The canal access is really the selling point here. You can dock a boat right out back and go out whenever you want on the water. The prospective buyer hesitant because they know what happened in the past. And nothing's ever happened here, right? Other than the DeFeo family. I mean, I know the history, but has anything happened here before? The real estate agent, she has a very practiced response now. Well, you know, the DeFeo family's murders were in 1974, but that's 50 years ago. Multiple families have lived here since with absolutely no issues. It's just a house, a beautiful, well maintained house in a prime location, and you can't beat the price. The prospective buyer and the Lutz family, the hauntings, the real estate agent gives a slight laugh. Oh, you do know that that was rumored to be a hoax, don't you? They made it up for the book deal, made a lot of money off of it. There's no haunting here. It's just a Hollywood story. But then, from the top third floor, a child's giggle. Faint, distant. Both adults freeze. Prospective buyer, did you hear that? The real estate agent, quickly. Old houses make sounds. Shall we look at the master bedroom? Footsteps walking away toward the stairs. The child's giggle again from the third floor, but that sometime a little softer. 50 years. 5 decades since 6 people were murdered at 112 Ocean Avenue. 50 years of families moving in, moving out, staying, leaving. 50 years of paranormal investigators, skeptics, believers, and everyone in between trying to answer one question. Is it haunted? We've spent 2 nights investigating the case. We've examined the murders. We've debunked the Lutz hoax. We've separated the lies from the possible truth. But tonight we finished this. We talked to the people who investigated the house in the decades since. We examined what current owners and visitors reported. We explore why we want haunted houses to be real. Why do we want them to be real? And we answer the final question. Is 112 Ocean Avenue genuinely haunted? Or have we haunted it ourselves with the movie, with our expectations, our guilt, our need to believe that death isn't the end? Welcome to the final night of our Amityville investigation. I'm Bryn Morgan, and tonight we close the case. Welcome back, Seekers. This is it, the finale, 3 nights of the Amityville. Before we dive in, let's take a roll call and see who's ready to learn. Drop it in the chat. Were you here since night 1? If you were here for the DeFeo's murders. Night 2, if you joined for the Lutz investigation. Both, if you've been here the whole time, or new, if this is your first night. And your location, where you're from. I'm from South Carolina. Tell me about yourself. Hey, Glenbow, how are you? Night 1, night 2, New Jersey, Arkansas, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Minnesota. Bossman from night 2, a Marine starter, night 1, Mississippi. Thank you, Casey, J.L. Asher. Are you a paranormal investigator? Oh, that is so cool, Glimbo. Welcome in. Welcome in. Sandra from Massachusetts. So an excellent turnout. Very good. For those joining tonight, here's the quick recap of what we learned on night 1 and night 2. Night 1, November 1974. Ronald DeFeo Jr. unalived his entire family, 6 people at 112 Ocean Avenue, all shot in their beds, face down. None tried to escape. Ronnie is convicted. Impossible details remain unexplained. He even mentioned in prison that he had heard voices telling him to unalive his family. Night 2, December 1975. The Lutz family move in. Fled after only 28 days, claiming demonic activity in the home. The investigation, however, revealed that most claims were fabricated for money. Lawyers confessed that he actually helped them invent the story. But some phenomena in that house are consistently reported by multiple sources across decades, particularly of a young boy seen on the stairs. And that brings us to tonight. Quick poll. Where do you stand after 2 nights of investigation? Drop it in the chat. Not haunted. It's all a hoax and psychology. Definitely haunted. Something paranormal is there. Maybe haunted? Some unexplained phenomena remain, or complicated. Can't be reduced to just a yes or a no. It is very strange, Glimbo. I think that's really, what gets me is this. Did they have silencers like that back in 1974? That would be very interesting if they did, because if he had put a silencer on there, then that would have explained why that they were not able to hear the shots. I think that would be a very interesting thing to find out. Also, the other thing was them sleeping face down. All of them were sleeping face down, and they were in that position. Again, you would think that there would have been some, different positions that they were in after they were unalived. But what is your thoughts? Do you think it's all a hoax? Do you think that they did have them back then, Melanie? Melanie just was able to find out that they did have those. So that could be, what it was, the reason why that they did not hear the shots when they went off. Hello, Bird Lady. Welcome in. So, what do you think? Do you think that it's real? Do you think it's a hoax? Do you think that it was all made up? Or do you think that it is haunted? KCJO from West Tennessee. Love Tennessee. Hey, Amy, how are you doing? Shirley says something is wrong with the house, that it is paranormal. Palm says, I think it's complicated. Diana says, it's complicated. Pamela says, I think it's definitely haunted. Glimbo says, a hoax. I'm kind of on the fence. I'm going to say that, most of it was a hoax. I support what I said the other night. I think 80% of it was a hoax, and I think 20% of it was paranormal. I might change my mind though. Tonight, I might think it's a complete hoax. So, that is the interesting thing about us diving in, seekers. So I saw that a lot of you believe that it is real. And then I saw some of you say that it was a hoax. And then I'm kind of on the fence. So that's smart because that's where the evidence is leading us. So tonight we're going to dig in to what's been reported in the 50 years since the Lux hoax. We're going to talk to paranormal investigators, homeowners, and skeptics, and we're going to explore the psychology of haunted houses, and we're going to reach a final verdict. We actually have some paranormal investigators in the audience with us tonight, and I think that's so exciting. And if you have anything that you want to add in the comments, please go ahead. Are we ready to close the case? Let's investigate, seekers. After the Lutzes fled and the book became a bestseller, 112 Ocean Avenue became the most famous haunted house in America. But people still had to live there. They still, wanted it. Let's talk to them now. The first family I will talk with is the Cromartie family. They lived there from 1977 until 1987, so they were there for 10 years. Jim and Barbara Cromartie bought the house in March 1977, and you are not going to believe how much that they bought this house for. Okay, so the Lutzes purchased the Amityville house for $85,000. Okay? Jim and Barbara Cromartie bought the house in March 1977 for a grand total of $55,000. Way below market value because of the notoriety behind it. $55,000. Did you know that? And this is the thing. They knew the history. They knew the Lutz claims, and they didn't care. And this is what they reported. These are actual quotes from actual interviews. Jim Cromartie, he was a very frustrated guy. He was a very matter-of-fact type of guy. Mr. Cromartie, the investigator asked, what have you experienced at Amityville House since living there? Nothing. Nothing happened. We lived there for 10 years. We raised our kids there. Not one unusual thing. No flies, no slime, no ghosts, no demons. It's just a house. That's all it is. It's just a house. The interviewer then turns to Barbara Cromartie. To be honest with you, the only problem that we had was tourists. People driving by, taking pictures. I was sitting on my couch one morning having coffee, looked in the backyard, and there was a whole group, 10 people, just walking around my backyard, snapping pictures of my house. People trying to break in at all hours of the night. People knocking on our door, asking us if they could look around our home. The haunting, that was just the Lutzes making money. We don't want any part of that. We just want our home. We just want to raise our kids, and we want quiet. That's it. That's all we want. And we wish that people would just respect our privacy. Interviewer, did you ever feel uneasy about anything? Ever sense anything? Jim Cromartie, sure. I mean, at first, when you know that 6 people were unalive there, you're going to think about it. I'm laying in bed one night and I looked toward the door and I could have swore that I saw a shadow. But, I think that's psychological. That house is not haunted. Your mind plays tricks on you. That's why I saw what I saw. After a while, it just becomes home. And the kids played there. We had birthday parties, a normal life. Barbara Cromartie, I'll tell you what is scary. The legacy of the lies that have been spread. People think our house is evil. They walk up in our yard and take pictures of the windows because of some stupid movie. It's a victim. That house is nothing but a victim, just like the DeFeo family were. The Cromarties lived there for 10 years. They said they experienced no phenomena, except for that shadow that was at the bedroom door. They raised children there. So question, does this settle it? Is the case closed? Was the Amityville house haunted? Drop your comments in the chat. Hello, little mama. Welcome in. Your doll says hello. He is defensive. To me, he comes across as defensive. He's watching too, yeah. Maybe the people are haunted. He said it. Your mind plays tricks. You see things. So it's kind of split. Diana says, I don't know what to think. Turtle Woman says, after hearing all the lies, I don't think so. Sandy's mama says, I still don't know. I mean, there could be evil energy there. Um, Pink says, I mean, definitely the mind. Shirley says, no, it doesn't mean anything. I think they show themselves when they want. So it's kind of split, like I was thinking that it probably would be. So some of you are saying, yeah, I don't think it's real, especially after what the Lutzes did. The family lived there fine. It's not haunted. And then others are saying, maybe phenomena or intermittent or specific to just certain people. But both are valid interpretations. Let's keep investigating. We have a lot more to cover. The O'Neill family, 1987 to 1997. Another family that lived there for 10 years. The next long-term owners also reported nothing unusual. Subsequent owners from 1997 to present. So the house had changed hands several times since the late 1990s. Most owners refused to speak publicly because of the media circus. But those who had given statements say the same thing. Nothing happens. It's a normal house. But here comes that but again. Before I tell you, drop your prediction. If all the owners say nothing happens, what could possibly contradict that? Isn't it great, X? I'm actually going to take that one and make it my whole playlist. I absolutely love it. It is just the bomb. Could be hiding something. Welcome back, Casey. The little boy, Bright Amy. That's the first thing that I thought, when it said but. So the long-term owners reported nothing. But short-term visitors, paranormal investigators, journalists, photographers, even some guests of the owners, they report something completely different. Let's examine these reports systematically, shall we? Category 1, paranormal investigators, 1976 till present. So dozens of paranormal investigation teams have requested access to 112 Ocean Avenue over the decades. Most are denied by the owners. They're just absolutely sick of the attention, but some have managed to get in. And this is what they consistently report. Report pattern number 1, the boy. Multiple investigators across different decades report sensing or seeing a young male child. Age range between 8 to 10 years old. Location is on the second floor landing near the staircase. I showed you the picture at the beginning. The behavior of the boy is non-threatening, curious. Really just seems to, want to take a look at you and check on his visitors. Some report actually seeing him, but others just sense a presence. But paranormal investigators and visitors alike have absolutely reported there is something near those stairs. The description is consistent with two different things. Back in the 1950s, a former owner's son, who was young at the time, was being very loud one night. He said the door opened, a boy walked in. Shh, be quiet. That was in the 1950s. Now, the other description of the boy is very consistent with John Matthew DeFeo, who passed at age 9 from the DeFeo murders. Report number 2, cold spots. Specific rooms consistently read colder than others. Second floor bedrooms where the children were unalive. Temperature drops of 10 to 15 degrees in localized areas, and not explained by ventilation or insulation issues. Report pattern number 3, EMF anomalies. Electromagnetic field detectors show spikes in certain rooms. Inconsistent readings, sometimes high, sometimes normal. The paranormal investigator that is in our live tonight, are these some of the things that you have experienced in your investigations? Cold spots? Is that a pretty normal thing? So, inconsistent readings, sometimes high, sometimes normal, could be explained by wiring, could be something else. Report pattern number 4, EVP, electronic voice phenomena. So some investigators report capturing child voices on recordings. Words allegedly include help, Ronnie, why? Highly disputed. Could be radio interference, could be imagination. Report pattern number 5, the red room. The basement room painted a bright red. Multiple investigators report intense feelings of dread. Some equipment malfunctions in that room, and feelings of don't go in there or get out. Here's an investigator credibility question. Paranormal investigators want to find ghosts, or some of them are actually there to debunk it. That's their job. In fact, when we had Louisiana Spirits on, she was talking about, one of the things that she does is she tries to debunk, to prove that it isn't haunted, but sometimes she gets proved otherwise. So, but the majority of them do want to find ghosts. That's their job. How much do you trust paranormal investigators' reports? Drop a 1 through 10, where 1, you don't trust it at all, or 10, I fully trust them. I have been watching, a haunting, and I'm telling you, there have been some paranormal investigators that give me the coldest freaking chills. It is just unreal, like absolutely unreal. Hey, Sally Ann. So some high readings. Yeah, I trust them. Absolutely. For sure. I think there are some, out there that can't be trusted, some that are out there that are just fake as they, can possibly be. But I do believe that the majority, I think most of them are definitely real. Right, depending on their credibility, for sure. So I have some 8s, some 5s, some more 8s, some more 5s, a 10 from Diana, a 7 from Amy, 8 depending on their credibility. So it's kind of what I was expecting. like a low to, a mid-range. So, right. Most of you are in that 7 to 8-ish. I saw 110. I just saw another 10 for Mystic, another 8. So that's appropriate skepticism. They have confirmation bias. They want to find evidence. But, and this is important, when multiple investigators across decades who don't know each other report the exact same thing, that's worth noting. Now, one thing that I've been doing a lot of research on, and I find this very interesting, most psychics that come out to these paranormal investigations, they don't want to know anything about anything. They want a complete, clear, 100% total reading. And they don't like for anyone to tell them what happened there, what they're dealing with. I trust that. Like if you were to say, okay, so this is what happened and we're having this and it's because of my grandmother, she passed away and she's doing things. And then that psychic comes out and says the exact same thing. Like one lady was explaining, that destroys my credibility. So, I find that very, very interesting. So when you have the same ones coming out to the same location and they do not know anything about what is being, what's going on, they're not reporting random different ghosts. They're consistently reporting a young boy, cold spots in specific rooms, and the red room feeling wrong. That's a pattern. Category 2, the photographers. Several professional photographers have taken pictures of 112 Ocean Avenue for various projects. And the famous Ghost Boy photo in 1976, we discussed this on Wednesday. Gene Campbell's automatic camera captured what appears to be a young boy in the doorway. No one was in the house. The status on that is it was disputed, but it was never definitively debunked. Other photographic anomalies include light anomalies in the children's bedrooms, orbs, though these are easily explained as dust, but they're saying from what the size of the orbs were that there was no way that it was dust, and unexplained shadows. The challenge here is that photography anomalies can be caused by so many different things. Dust, moisture, lens flares, camera malfunctions. They're not strong evidence. Category 3, journalists and documentarians. Multiple journalists and documentary crews have visited 112 Ocean Avenue. And what they report is this. Some report feeling very uneasy from the moment that they walk in the door. Some report equipment malfunctions, cameras dying, recorders falling and failing. Some report nothing at all. And then inconsistent. It just depends on who you ask and who was there. Category 4, random visitors and neighbors to the property. Over 50 years, various people have been inside the house. Real estate agents, contractors, delivery people, neighbors, and there have been occasional reports. I felt like someone was watching me, a contractor said. I heard a child's voice, but no one was there. A real estate agent. Something didn't feel right on that second floor. It was a visitor of the current owners. She went upstairs to use the bathroom, and she said she felt like someone was watching her. That red room in the basement just gives me the creeps. That was another visitor to the house, a paranormal investigator. But mostly, it just seems like a normal house to me. Drop your theory in the chat. What do you think? Still think it's haunted? Or are you changing your mind? Hey, Al. Paul Mom says insects. Hey, Shauna. Pink says both. Okay. I like it when they don't want information. Cindy Kaza is like that. She's good. Yeah, I'm the same. I'm definitely the same. Exaggerated and haunted. Can't determine yet. Shirley says still something paranormal going on. I mean, I still get cold chills when I'm hearing these accounts. So, I'm leaning toward, that there is definitely something going on there. I think the house gives the people what they want, Renee says. That's good, Renee. I like that. Acclimation theory. Long-term residents get used to whatever's there. Expectation theory. Visitors expect phenomena, so they experience it psychologically. That's kind of like what you were saying, Renee. Residual haunting theory. Phenomena only appear occasionally, and it's under certain conditions. Like, I might walk in there and feel it all. Because I just have a way of feeling that when I walk in a house, I either like a house or I don't. We were driving, Little Miss Night Queen and I were driving this morning when I was coming back from my doctor. And by the way, I have a inner ear infection, which I have never had before. And I have a upper respiratory infection. So if you see me drinking a lot of water, that's why I was told to drink a lot of water. So anyway, we're driving by this house. I see this house out in the field. It was backed way off from the road. And I look at it and I go, that house is haunted. And Little Miss Night Queen just looks over at me and she goes, but I'm telling you, I got a vibe off of that when I drove by it. And every house since we've lived in that haunted house in Virginia all those years ago, it's like I can look at it and I can tell. It's just something about it that's just not right. Sensitivity theory. Some people sense things, others don't. So I might sense something, but let's say let's say Sandy's mama walks in the same house and she's like, there's nothing here. But I might be standing there with cold chills on the back of my neck. So, debunking theory. Nothing is there. Visitors are just spooked by knowing the history. It's all plausible. But let's dig deeper now. Let's talk about why this case is so compelling. Why we want 112 Ocean Avenue to be haunted. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. We need haunted houses. If we didn't have haunted houses, we wouldn't have that scare, that chill. We wouldn't have those kinds of stories. Not literally, not psychologically. We need them. 6 people were unalived, 4 were children. Now, the one that unalived them was called and punished, but that doesn't feel like enough. If the house is haunted, it means that the victim spirits remain. They're not just gone. There's something after death, that death isn't the end, that the location bears witness to the crime. The evil is marked there. And we can't forget what happened there because the house won't let us. Be honest. Do you want Ocean Avenue to be haunted? Do you want 112 Ocean Avenue to be haunted? Not because it's cool or scary, but because it means that the DeFeo children are just gone. That they are actually there, that there is life after death, that they are, wandering around. Drop a yes or a no. Right. Thank you, Sandy. Appreciated. I get a tingle down my spine. I still say Schmurder leads to haunting. Sandy's mama says no. Pink says, I want them to go to heaven. Hey there, Andrew. How you doing? Kimberly says yes. So it's kind of mixed. Some are saying yes, some are saying no, and that's human. We don't want children to just cease to exist because it's just very sad and very wrong and very evil what he did, how he took their lives so tragically. If John DeFeo's spirit is still on those stairs, it means some part of him survived. And that's comforting in a sort of strange way. If Amityville is genuinely haunted, then it proves that the supernatural exists. There's more to reality than we understand. And death isn't the end. Consciousness survives physical death. For believers, Amityville is evidence. For skeptics, it's a test case. The house being evil or cursed creates a narrative. The location itself is punished. Evil leaves a mark. You can't just schmurder people and have the house become normal again. It's not going to happen. There are consequences beyond the legal system. Humans love Gothic horror. I do. I absolutely love it. That's why I write it. The idea of a beautiful house with a dark secret, like the haunting of Hastings House or, Cherry Hill House, the American dream turned nightmare. It's narratively satisfying, especially for me as a writer of it. It is very satisfying to take a beautiful old home and make it haunted as hell. Self-awareness check. How much does your belief about whether the house is haunted depend on what you want to be true versus what the evidence shows? Oh, I love Dark Shadows. I was actually going to look that up. I used to watch reruns of that. I want to find it again. I think it would be, really cool. Shirley says it doesn't affect me either way, but unalived, still around. Pink says, I don't want them to be stuck. Senator Jefferson says, I would like them to be free and not relive their death. Right. Mystic says, yes, because I believe that something exists when people die. I do too. Kimberly, I'm addicted. Al, paranormal haunting, discuss theories, love it. I think I go by what I feel and what my own senses tells me. I'm the same way. Um, yeah. So, would you be honest? Drop a percentage in the chat for me. 70% evidence, 30% what I want to be true. I think that there is enough evidence there that something is wrong. I think it is haunted. I think there is something wrong with it. I think there's something wrong with the land. I don't know if you saw one of our visitors, but she was talking about her grandfather, 10 times removed, had did something on that land. So I do think that I think there's something there. I do not think that it is just a normal house, but that's my opinion. Um, do I believe everything that the DeFeo said? No, I don't. Um, Kimmy says, I think it's cursed. I do think it is. Wolfman76, thank you for the follow. Um, I do think that something is definitely wrong there. I don't think it's normal. A mystic says, I believe intuition is a strong indication that something happens when people have died in that house. Pink says, I really don't know. Right, whether it's murder or not. Now let's look at what skeptical investigators and scientists say about Amityville. Shirley Thurlby says 80%, 80-20. The boy on the stairs. And these are skeptics that are talking now. Pareidolia. Human brains are wired to see faces and human forms in random patterns. I just had that happen the other day. It was the weirdest thing ever. I saw a woman's face just as clear as anything. And I have looked at this pattern time and time again. And I saw it and like, that's freaky. Shadows and light. Staircases create complex shadow patterns. I don't know if they create patterns like the image of that boy. And I'll show that again in here in a minute. Expectation. People who know a child that died there are automatically primed to see a child. I saw a little girl when I was 10, and I didn't know anything about a child, disappearing from that area or seeing anything like that. The power of suggestion. Once one person reports it, others look for it. That could be true. Let me show you. Let me see if I can find the little ghost boy picture again. You'll have to come in close on it, but right there. That's like one of the creepiest pictures ever. Yeah, that's one of the creepiest I've ever seen. The cold spots. Here's what the skeptics have to say. Old house architecture. Built in 1927, insulation inconsistent, second floor heating issues, upper floor is always harder to heat. True. Confirmation bias. People focus on cold areas, they ignore warm areas. The placebo effect. Knowing it's a Schmurder house just automatically makes you feel cold. The red room. Color psychology. Red is associated with danger, blood, alarm. I personally love the color red. It makes me feel happy, cheerful, energetic, alive. Um, Basement psychology. Basements feel creepy regardless. I hate basements. Um, Knowledge effect. Knowing it's called the red room of evil just creates that expectation. Suggestion. Once someone says it feels wrong, that that room is evil, that it doesn't feel right, everyone feels it. Equipment malfunctions from the skeptics. Old building electrical issues. Wiring problems can affect equipment. User error. People unfamiliar with equipment blame spirits. Oh, I've said that to my computer just the other day. I'm like, you're possessed. Um, Battery drain happens naturally, attributed to the paranormal. Um, Coincidence. Things break, but we remember when it's spooky. Feelings of being watched from a skeptic's point of view. The knowledge of the murders. Knowing what happened creates hypervigilance. Normal house sounds. Old houses creak and settle. Infrasound. Low frequency sound waves below human hearing can cause major unease. Carbon monoxide can cause feelings of dread, though this house tested completely clean. So here's the thing, devil's advocate time, seekers. If all of these phenomena have mundane explanations, why do people keep reporting them? Drop your theory. They keep reporting them because it's real. I don't know. Does he? You know what? I never looked. Let me see. Ooh. Maybe he did wear glasses? Right, Wolfman. They do have brains of their own, Shirley. Hey, Chesties. Hitman, thank you for the follow. It's real, it's genuine. Some people just want to be part of the story. Yes. But I do think that I think that it's real. I think some of it is very, very real. The cold spots I've experienced, the seeing the apparitions I've experienced in all three homes that I lived in. So I know it's real. I know it's real. So the skeptical response would be, because humans are pattern seeking creatures, we see what we expect to see. Once a location has a haunted reputation, every normal house noise becomes evidence. It's a self fulfilling prophecy. But the counter argument is this: if it's all psychology, why are the reports so consistent? Why have so many people seen the boy? Again, I go back to right. I just saw that response in the White Channel. I go back to 1950s when it appeared. So I don't know that that is John Matthew DeFeo. That could be a boy from decades past. Um, why always a young boy, not a teenage girl or an adult man? Why is it always the same rooms feeling wrong? Coincidence feels unlikely to me. Now let's get into the scientific portion of it. Several scientific studies have been conducted on allegedly haunted locations, including research that is relevant to Amityville. Study 1, Infrasound and Fear. This was from Vic Tandy back in 2003. He was a British engineer, and he discovered that infrasound, sound waves below 20 gigahertz, below human hearing range, can cause feelings of unease and dread, a sense of a presence, visual hallucinations, peripheral vision distortions, chest pressure, and anxiety. Could this explain Amityville? Old houses can generate infrasound through ventilation, wind, structural resonance. The canal location might create specific sound conditions. I know, since I've been having this going on, things have sounded weird to me as far as people speaking. Um, this could explain the dread feeling in certain rooms. But this doesn't explain the specific reports of a young boy and the consistent descriptions behind it. Dark hair, small, between 8 to 10. Study 2, scientifically, electromagnetic fields and hallucinations. Now, this study came from Michael Persinger back in the 1990s. He was a neuroscientist that found that electromagnetic fields can stimulate the temporal lobe and cause a sense of a presence, feelings of being watched, sometimes visual hallucinations, and out of body experiences. Could this explain Amityville? Old wiring could create EMF fields. This could explain the presence feeling. But again, doesn't explain the consistency of the reports. Another scientific report, this was Expectation and Experience from Christopher French back in 2009. So he's a psychologist, and he ran experiments where this is very, very interesting. So he told people that a location was haunted. He conducted this experiment. He told them that it was haunted when it wasn't, and these were the results. So he sent this group of people into this house that was supposedly haunted, and this is what they reported back. People reported cold spots where they weren't any. People reported seeing shadows and figures. Simply being told that a place is haunted made people experience phenomena. Could this explain Amityville? Everyone knows the history before entering, though. They know that murders happened. They know these things happened. Expectations create experience. This could explain most reports, but again, it doesn't explain why some long-term residents, even before the DeFeo, also occasionally reported things to family, friends, or why specific details of a young boy, even from as far back as the 1950s and 60s, are consistent. After hearing the scientific explanations, has your opinion shifted? Or do you still believe? Drop more skeptical if science explained it for you. Drop less skeptical if science doesn't fully explain the patterns. And then say same opinion if you already know these theories. I think that some things can be explained scientifically, but again, I am really just leaning toward um, um, I think some things are consistent. And I see that, it's kind of the same for y'all, just the same opinion. We'll do that, X. I just read your text. Hello there, Leslie Marie. How are you, beautiful? More skeptical. Okay, Sandy's mama is more skeptical. Sandra is of the same opinion. Pink is of the same opinion. Melanie is of the same opinion. Same. Amy says, I still think there is something going on there. I'm with you. Um, Diana is of same opinion. You're with the Grens now. Renee's same. Something is there. I just think something is there. I definitely do. Um, with that being said, let's take an intermission. 10 minutes. And when we come back, we will continue the rest of the Amityville haunting and wrap it up. I'll be right back. This has been a really interesting case to explore. And I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying exploring it with you. Just wait till our next investigation. Hello, Bill Generation X. Hey, Glenbow. As powerful as the movie portrayed, I know! Isn't that cute? I love this lighting because you're really able to see everything that I've been working on back there. Very pleased to meet you. Um, You know, I wasn't so sure when I first started it. I knew that I wanted a different type of a background for the stories, for the Paranormal Files Live. And so what we are going to do, Glenbow, is I am going to start doing that. We used to have Paranormal Files Live where I would let the audience come up and share their experiences. We're going to do that again. I'm just trying to think when I'm going to incorporate that in. It's going to be very, very soon. Very soon. No, not tonight. Well, you know what? Hold on 1 second. That might be really, really cool. Go ahead and come up in the box. Absolutely. Because I was thinking about incorporating this, actually having paranormal investigators coming in. Hello?
Thank you for letting me up.
You are welcome. How are you?
I'm doing good. Let me see here. Okay, there you go.
Hello.
I've been an investigator for about 23 years now.
Wow.
I started out in the mainframe when this thing really blew up.
Yeah.
This is before Zach Bagans and Ghost Hunters and stuff like that.
Right.
I've always liked this case. I've always found this case very interesting because
It is.
Because there was a lot that was brought to the table, and then there was a lot that was found to be hoax. But there was some stuff, like I was saying earlier, that was just weird because when Ronald DeFeo went and shot the people in the house, nobody else woke up in the house. Everybody was found in their beds.
Right. That was so weird to me.
That's one thing. The other thing is, I believe that Lorraine Warren did find something in that house, but I don't think it was the power of what was forcing the DeFeos out.
Right.
She was feeling something, and it could have been something that maybe was there before the DeFeos and before the Lutzes, I think that was valid. They did, however, find out that one of the pictures that they took in the house, while Lorraine Warren was there, was actually, it was supposed to be a kid. If you see it, it's supposed to be like a picture of a kid in the background by a door.
Yeah.
That was brought out to be one of the people that were there taking pictures also, or a camera crew.
Right.
That was
the one with the boy by the stairs.
Yeah.
Supposedly the DeFeo boy.
Yeah, that was debunked as one of the camera guys.
Okay.
So
That's interesting.
I don't doubt that Lorraine and Ed Warren, because I talked to Lorraine and Ed Warren's nephew. His name is I don't know if you heard of him, John Zaffis.
Yes, I saw him on A Haunting. He's on several different episodes on there as a consultant. Yeah, yeah, I did.
He came to one of our meetings one night, and he answered questions about all kinds of stuff. He's a very smart man, and what happened to him at the haunting in Connecticut was really powerful to him.
I heard about that.
I talked to him, and he said that they did find something. There was something there, but they couldn't nail it down to the murders.
Right.
They couldn't coordinate it with the murders. It could have been something Lorraine or Ed was feeling, and it was there, like I said, or it was there before the DeFeos, before the Lutzes. But this case has really, it's really caused a lot of mainstream attention.
It has.
And of course, it turned out that, years later, that DeFeo admitted that it was for book and movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so that kind of squashed all the, all the haunting in general.
It did.
It didn't stop the people, like you said, were visiting, though.
Yeah.
They actually had to redesign the house, take out the old windows.
Yes, I heard about that because they weren't able to sell, like it wasn't selling because people were just creeped out by, the past there and everything. So you believe that some of it is definitely true?
I believe yes. I believe there's something there.
What would you say is real there?
I would say the haunting is real. I don't kind of agree with maybe the demon part of it, but it is strange, like I said, that he went around killing all his family and nobody woke up.
Yeah, that was odd.
Like, I mean, a shotgun in a house, you're going to hear it, and somebody's going to get up and come running.
You would think so. You would definitely think so.
Right. Why didn't anybody come running?
Why didn't they run and hide?
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of weird because that I don't know, that I would say something was, maybe it was something demonic at that point that possessed Ron DeFeo to do it.
Could have.
And when Ron DeFeo left the house, he took that demon with him.
Very possible. Didn't he say something about that when he was in prison, that he had heard voices telling him to do that? Because that's what I read, but I wanted to get that from you as well.
Yes.
So, I mean, that, that's definitely possible. I do think it is haunted, to a certain extent, not to, the degree the Lutzes said, because that was completely a hoax, them and their attorney, and all that. But, yeah, so I agree with you. I definitely do think that there is still something there.
Right, and the funny part about it is he went back to the bar and told everybody, everybody had been shot.
Yes.
He went back to the place he left. And, like, what made him leave the bar and go home and decide, see, that's the thing. Did it follow him out of the house and follow him to the bar and torment him at the bar until he had enough liquor where he was liquored up enough that he thought, hey, yeah, let me go do this.
Right.
And I hear the voices, let me go do this. And went back to the house and actually did it.
Very possible. Very possible.
It's a very interesting case. I mean,
it
really,
is. You're going to have to help me out on some more of my cases.
I would love to. I would absolutely love to. I would love to be the person that, that could do that. I mean, I love talking about it.
Yeah, it's great. It's really, really great. You'll have to come back in Monday and see what the case is going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love that. I really would.
I keep it a secret until like Monday around 12 noon.
I mean, it's not as interesting as The Conjuring or the Haunting in Connecticut.
I'm going to be doing those as well. Yeah, so I would definitely like to have your input on that.
I would love to be here. I would love to help you. I love talking about it.
I do too. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, me too. You're welcome. I love proving things wrong.
Yeah.
And right. When they're right, I like it more because I love the paranormal. Yeah.
See, absolutely. I'm the exact same way. If I can debunk it, I will, but it's like, no, there's just too many things that have been reported there by too many people. And, so there is something there. So, um,
Yeah.
but yeah, thank you so much for coming up in the box and talking with me about it. This is
One
what
last
I
thing
want
too.
here.
One last thing too, and you have to wonder, okay, the people who are living there after the Lutzes and anybody else who's lived there, they've stayed.
Yeah,
Nobody else has pulled out of that house unless they wanted to pull out of that house and came screaming out of the house. It's haunted. It's haunted.
right.
So, I mean, there's a lot to unpack in this, and everybody's going to be, oh well, yeah, it was real. Lorraine and Ed, are really good people, and I don't doubt Lorraine and Ed. I really don't. But I just think that in this case, it wasn't what the Lutzes said that they experienced in that house
Right.
for
Yeah.
this day.
They
So-
embellished a lot.
Yeah, I thank you for letting me come on. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. We will do this again.
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to keep in contact. I followed you and some, and
I'll follow
everybody-
you back. I'll
Yeah,
follow
I
you
hope
back.
everybody has a good night and keeps listening to you.
And what is your username? Let's follow this guy, okay? Let's give him support.
I'll write something in the chat here.
Perfect. That's perfect.
There. I meant to write hi. I got paranormal fingers.
So Glenn Bob is actually a paranormal investigator, and he came in and gave his opinion on the Amityville case, and that's what I love. That's what we want to do here, and go follow him.
And I'm not saying what I'm saying, and I'm not saying that I'm right or I'm wrong. I'm just giving you the two sides of what I heard, so you can make your own decision on whether or not you feel like you believe Amityville is real. Because people still believe Amityville is real.
100%. They do.
So,
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, and we're going to get back in there and wrap it up.
all right, thank you.
All right, bye. That is so freaking cool. I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. So that's very interesting, and that is from a paranormal investigator, his comments on it and what he thinks. And, again, he thinks that there is something there, not to the point that the Lutzes said, but that, there is something definitely there in that house. I don't think that house is okay. So, all right, Seekers. We've been investigating this case now. This is night 3. And we have thoroughly examined the evidence. We've weighed the theories. We've separated the proven lies from the possible truth. So here's where I land, okay? My investigative conclusion, if you will. Tier 1, definitely true. This is the things that were definitely true. 6 people were murdered at 112 Ocean Avenue in 1974. Fact. The Lutz story was mostly fabricated for money. Fact. The house has a dark history that affects how people perceive it. Absolute fact. Most reported phenomena have mundane explanations, though. Tier 2, probably true. Some visitors genuinely experience unease, psychological reaction to knowing the history of it. The house has normal old house issues. Now, I do think that there are cold spots there, and I believe it is because of either the residual energy that is there, but I do believe that the cold spots are real. And I do believe that, the feelings of something being felt on the second floor, there's just too many conflicting, reports that are just so true about that. So I believe that. Expectation creates experience. People see what they expect to see. And long-term residents experience nothing. And it could be because they just acclimate to it. They didn't want to talk about it. They didn't want to be part of that. But that one owner said that, yeah, I mean, I saw a shadow, but the mind plays tricks. Was it a trick of the mind? Tier 3, possibly true. Some residual energy from the traumatic deaths that occurred there may linger. I think that is absolutely true. But y'all can comment in the, in the comments and let me know. A small percentage of reports might be genuinely paranormal. The consistency of the young boy across decades is harder to dismiss than the other phenomena. And something about that house affects a subset of sensitive individuals. I think sensitive, psychics, empaths, I believe they really do experience something when they walk in there. Like I said, my daughter might walk in there and go, just perfectly normal. I might walk in there and be like, something's not right here. Okay, I just scared myself there. So, my theory, the residual haunting hypothesis, I think 112 Ocean Avenue might have a residual haunting, not an intelligent, interactive spirit, but an echo, an imprint of trauma. And here's why. Because evidence supporting residual haunting, the reports are consistent, but they're not interactive. The boy doesn't communicate, he just appears. However, the boy that appeared in the 1950s and 60s told them, be quiet. Phenomena are repetitive. They're always the same rooms, the same feelings. It's not aggressive or trying to communicate. It doesn't escalate or change over time. It's more like a recording that is playing back than an intelligent presence. I don't think there's any way that 6 people can die there and there not be something left in that house. So what does this mean? Well, the violent deaths may have imprinted on this location. Certain people might be more sensitive to detecting this imprint when they walk in. It's not the DeFeo family haunting the house. I think it's the echo of their trauma. It's sad and it's scary. It's both. Does the residual haunting theory make sense to you? Do you agree with it? Say yes. It explains the patterns and the consistency. Say no. Still think it's all psychology and very mundane. Or maybe plausible, but unprovable. Glimbo says residual haunting. Pastelina says yes. X says yes. Alicia says yes. Yes, residual, yes. Sandy's mama says maybe. Could be residual, Palm says maybe. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is the frustration of paranormal investigation. We can't definitively prove or disapprove these theories. And we can only weigh evidence and reach the most logical conclusion. Whether or not the 112 Ocean Avenue is genuinely haunted, let's face it, Amityville changed American culture forever. How? Well, I'll call it the Amityville effect. So, impact 1, the haunted house industry. Before Amityville, haunted houses were really just folklore. After Amityville, Haunted houses became a marketable commodity, spawned countless books, movies, investigations, created the template for based on a true story horror. Impact number two, paranormal investigation goes mainstream. So, Ed and Lorraine Warren became famous for this case. And let me tell you now, we haven't even scratched the surface with the homes that Ed and Lorraine Warren investigated. I had no idea until I started doing very deep research on it. Oh my God, so much. Ghost hunting became a hobby and a profession. I want to go on a ghost hunt. Equipment like EMF detectors and EVP recorders became consumer products. TV shows like Ghost Hunters trace their lineage back to Amityville. Did you know that? That was the first case that really got their attention and just kind of set a fire underneath of them. Impact number three, the Schmurder House stigma. Created real estate term stigmatized property. Houses where Schmurders occurred lost value. Led to laws about disclosure requirements. Interesting. Changed how we think about locations and trauma. Impact number four, true crime plus horror fusion. Amityville showed you could blend real tragedy with supernatural claims. Oh, I hate my hair tonight. Created a genre template still used today. Raised ethical questions. Is it okay to profit from real schmurders? Impact number five, the hoax template. Showed how easy it is to fabricate a paranormal story. Taught skeptics what red flags to look for. Made all subsequent haunting claims a lot more suspect, but also made real phenomena harder to report. Fear of being called a hoaxer. Has Amityville been good or bad for paranormal investigation overall? If you think it's good, drop good. Brought attention, funding, interest, bad. Created hoaxes, skepticism, exploitation, or both. Kind of like a mixed bag. Let me see your comments. I think to me it's both. Because, you know, it did bring attention and, you know, funding and interest, but it also created hoaxes and skepticism and exploitation. So I think I'll go both on this. Okay, so some are both, a couple are good. Renee's a mixed bag. So X says for sure both. Shirley says both. Pink says both. Glenbow says both. Alicia says both. Sunny's mom says both. Palm says good. Pink says good. So some good, some bad, you know. Most of you are saying both, which I fully expected that you would say. And that's the truth. Amityville popularized paranormal, I almost said Panera Bread. Am I hungry? Oh my goodness. I'm okay, I promise. That is going to be my new music starting Monday. That's all I'm doing because I really like that one. Amityville popularized paranormal investigation, but it also tainted it with fraud. It just did. It brought attention, but it also brought exploitation. Um, so, what's happening at 112 Ocean Avenue right now? Well, like Limbo was telling you, they had to change the windows because the windows were just not selling the house. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, I told y'all that, back when I saw it with my mom, years later after the movie had been made, um, I saw those windows and it terrified me. And so I had a best friend at school and she invited me over for a sleepover and they lived in a house that had the exact same windows and I left. So, the house in 2025, physical changes. Address changed to 108 Ocean Avenue. Why was that done? To deter tourists. Did you know that? Distinctive eye windows modified to make it less recognizable. Let me see if I can, let me see. Let me see if I can find a modern Amityville house. Let's see. Oh, wow. They really changed up the look. Big time. Big time. That doesn't look spooky at all, does it? Way different. Way. Massive difference. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, it's a gorgeous house. Yeah, they changed it. I don't know why I can't get it on the Y channel like I have it here. But as you can see, they changed up the windows completely. You can see them a little bit better from here. Right there. Right there. The security increased, cameras, fencing. Current owners are very private. They do not want anyone in their house. They want it left completely alone, and you really cannot blame them. Current owner reports refuse to speak publicly. They will not talk to you. Reportedly said nothing unusual happens, and if there is anything, it's just your normal old house sounds. Frustrated by the constant attention, wish people would let the house just be a house. Tourism status. Still a destination for horror fans. People still drive by to take photos. Some try to trespass on the land, and it's illegal now, so don't do this. And local community is just tired of the circus. The town doesn't want to be involved. The owners don't want to be involved. And I really can't blame them, but you're always going to have this thing that is going to hang over this place. The property value. So it was originally sold for $80,000 in 1975 to the Lutzes. Its worth approximately right now is $1.2 million in the current market. But here is something very interesting. The stigma that is attached to the Amityville house still affects its value. It could be worth so much more if that wasn't attached. Sells below comparable properties in the area because of the murders. The cultural status. There has been 13 Amityville movies made and counting. Countless documentaries still referenced in pop culture. Let's face it, this story will never die. So, should you think the house should just be torn down at this point? Would that end the story and make it worse? Drop your take. Do you think it should be torn down? Aw, thank you. I lean toward let it be. It's someone's home. Stop bothering the current residents. Remember the victims, but don't remember the house. You know? So I would say no. Sandy's mama says if it was built on Indian burial ground, yes, I say tear it down. So most of you said leave it alone. You know, one said, you know, in the exploitation, if it's built on an Indian burial ground, just let the victims rest. Others say preserve it. It's part of history, good or bad. Others say it doesn't matter. The story exists independently now. In all the debates about hauntings and hoaxes, we've lost sight of something crucial. 6 real people died there. Let me remind you who they were again. Ronald DeFeo Sr., 43. That's young. Worked for his father-in-law's Buick dealership. By accounts was abusive and violent, no doubt, but still a human who died terrified in his bed, left behind extended family who grieved him. Louise DeFeo, age 43, raised in a wealthy family, trapped in an abusive marriage, was so tired of seeing Ronald and his son fight fist to fist, tried to protect her children, and died next to her husband, unable to save anyone else. Can you imagine what she must have been thinking if she even had time to react to her children being upstairs? Are they already gone? Or are they about to be? Dawn DeFeo, a high school senior planning for college, tried to keep peace in the family, had her whole life ahead of her, murdered by her brother. Allison DeFeo, age 13, a middle school student, loved art, smart as a tack, quiet and thoughtful, died in the bed next to her brother Mark. Mark DeFeo, loved baseball, age 12, wanted to be an athlete, unalived in his sleep before his life really began. John Matthew DeFeo, age 9, the baby, the youngest, called John by his family, happy kid despite the family tension, 3rd floor bedroom. If his spirit does remain in that house, and I think that possibly it does, he's still 9 years old, still waiting on those stairs, still watching. Take a moment. These aren't characters in a horror movie, seekers. They were real people. Drop a candle to honor them now. Thank you, because they deserve to be remembered as people, not as a franchise. You know what really haunts 112 Ocean Avenue? There might be a couple, I do think it's a residual haunting, but I think it's the collective guilt that, people down through the decades, down through the years have turned this tragedy into entertainment. That millions of dollars were made off the deaths of these 6 people. That when you say Amityville, people think of a horror movie. They think of James Brolin. They think of Margot Kidder. They think of, oh, that was a great movie. Oh, that movie was terrifying. Oh, that movie scared me to death. They think of Amityville, the movie. Not really the 6 people that were murdered there, and I tested it. Because the other day when I was at work, I asked my group, I said, so what do you think of Amityville? Oh man, that was a movie I watched years ago. And then I watched a lady, I asked a lady who was, she is a woman, she's 22. I said, what do you think about Amityville? Is that the one where the priest came in? And I said, do you really know what happened there? She's like, oh, it's real? She didn't know anything about the 6 people that were murdered there. All right, seekers, 3 nights of investigation. Time for the final verdict. Is Ocean Avenue, 112 Ocean Avenue, now 108 Ocean Avenue, haunted? It depends on what you mean by haunted. If you mean, are there demons, levitation, green slime, and possession? Absolutely not. Nope, that was a hoax. That was lies for money. If you mean, do long-term residents experience constant paranormal activity? According to them, no. Multiple families have lived there normally for decades, or 50 years. If you mean, does the location carry the trauma of what happened there? And could there be a residual haunting? Yes. Trauma imprints on places. Anyone who enters knows something bad happened there. 6 people died violently there. That knowledge affects perception. If you mean, do some visitors experience unexplained phenomena? Yeah, possibly. The reports are consistent enough to be intriguing, I think. If you mean, is there a residual echo of John Matthew DeFeo on those stairs? Maybe. Or it could be the other boy. I want to believe that there is. Not because I want the house to be haunted, but I hope that the little boy has passed on into the light and that he has gone to heaven. I want him, though, there's still that little part that is like, is he there? Is he still there? Is he waiting for someone to come in and acknowledge him? Is he there watching, making sure that no one else gets hurt? My final verdict, 112 Ocean Avenue, 108 Ocean Avenue, is a residual haunting. I think that it has a residual paranormal element, an echo of trauma that manifests as a young boy is seen sometimes on the stairs, but it is not the demonic portal that the Lutzes claimed. It is a house where tragedy happened. There, and again, as I said earlier, there is no way that there is not something felt there with 6 people being unalived. There's just no way. I think that there is an echo of that tragedy that remains. So my conclusion, it is haunted. A residual haunting. Now, after 3 nights, what's your verdict? Drop "not haunted" in the chat. All explained by psychology. Residual haunting, a trauma echo, not an intelligent spirit. Genuinely haunted, something paranormal is there. Now, I'm going to go with both of those. I'll say a residual haunting and genuinely haunted. I'll go with that. And then unknowable. We can't definitively prove this either way. Miles says, Echo might still be there. Their spirits moved on. They're healing. Hello, Miles. Welcome in. Shirley says, could be a bad spirit disguised as a boy. Absolutely. Could be. Sandra says, haunted. Renee says, an echo. Definitely. Glimbo says, residual echoes of the deaths. Sandy's mama says, residual. Shirley says, I'm thinking too. Palm says, combo of residual and real. Shirley says, a little of both. Bill says, an echo. I love it. I absolutely love it. Pink says, I would never go to a house where a murder happened. It's creepy. It is very, very creepy. And Al, thank you for posting those great comments throughout. I love that. It really, when I see it, it gets me to thinking. So I can just imagine what it's doing for the seekers. So look at that. That's appropriate. This case doesn't have a clean answer. The evidence points in so many different multiple directions. And you know what? That's okay, because not every investigation ends with certainty. Now, we are going to have some that absolutely will. I can't wait until Monday night when we go over our next Paranormal Files Live case number 3. 3 nights, 3 investigations, 1 house. We've examined the real horror, 6 people that were unalived by someone they loved. We've exposed the hoax, the Lutzes fabricating a story for money. We've weighed the evidence. Some phenomena are consistently reported, others are clearly false. We've explored the psychology. We've covered everything. Why we want haunted houses to be real, and we've honored the victims. The people who died and were forgotten in favor of a Hollywood franchise. Before we close this case, what's your biggest takeaway from this 3-night investigation? What will you remember about it most? Drop it in the chat. So here are some, as you're posting in there, I would just say lesson number 1. Always separate real tragedy from entertainment. 6 people died. That's not fun. That's not cool. That's horror. Oh, that is so cool, Miles. You practice mediumship? That is awesome. Lesson number 2. Financial motive taints evidence. Always ask, who's profiting from this story? Lesson number 3. Consistent patterns are worth noting. When multiple sources across time, across decades, across years report the same specific detail, investigate it. Lesson number 4. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Levitation and demons, You got to show me proof on that. Cold spots and feelings, that's more plausible. Lesson 5. Sometimes the honest answer is, I don't know. And that's okay. Lesson 6. Trauma does echo. Whether that echo is psychological or paranormal is up for debate. But trauma leaves marks, and I believe that it can leave marks on a house. Lesson 7. The real victims are always the ones who died, not the ones who claim to have seen a ghost. The investigation has taught us to evaluate paranormal claims critically. So, will you apply this thinking in the other cases that we cover? Drop yes if you're going to be more skeptical and thoughtful going forward. For sure, Miles. Also, the collective energy based upon the horror stories could have created. Yeah, I agree. Hey, Mia. Thank you for sharing the live. So, I love the engagement here. This is what I have always wanted. Oh, I love it. I just absolutely love it. We had an actual paranormal investigator that came into the box tonight. That's going to happen a lot more. Um, and, that's my goal is not to make you believers or skeptics but to make you critical thinkers about it. I'll let you make your own assumptions on whether a place is haunted or not, but I'm going to present you with all the facts, if that makes sense. Final question before we close this case. Should I investigate more famous haunted locations? Drop a yes. More haunted house investigations, please, Bryn. Drop different paranormal cases. If you want different ones, say different. Or both. Mix it up. Have an amazing weekend, Shirley Thurlby. Yes, both. Mix it up. Yeah, nice. I'm glad. Mix it up. Too many locations across this world that we can only stick with haunted houses. So, if you do visit Amityville, and I'm not encouraging you to, the current owners deserve privacy, but if you go, don't go looking for demons. Don't go expecting exorcist level horror. Don't go hoping for a movie experience. Go with respect, go with remembrance. Remember Ronald, Louise, Dawn, Allison, Mark, and John. Remember that they lived in that house before they died there. Remember that they were people with hopes and dreams and fears and love. And if you see a young boy on the stairs watching you, say hi. Maybe it's John. Maybe it's the little boy from decades past. Or maybe it's some part of him that couldn't leave. Still there, still watching, still 9 years old. Still waiting for his mom to come and wake him up. Case closed. Thank you for investigating with me for these 3 nights. This was a journey. I appreciate you all so much. And that's what Paranormal Files Live is about. It's about interacting and talking with one another and chatting about these cases. We are lovers of the paranormal. We are seekers of the truth. I will see you Monday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern for a brand new investigation. And I'm excited. So drop an I in the chat if you are going to be here Monday night. Until Monday, Keep your eyes open, keep your mind sharp, keep questioning, and keep seeking. And remember, the real monsters are always human. But sometimes, just sometimes, echoes remain. This is Bryn Morgan, closing the Amityville file. Stay curious, stay critical, stay safe. Bye, y'all.